this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host. My guest this evening is Richard Borer from Easter Seals Goodwill Industries. Richard, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Thanks for coming down. So tell us a little bit about who is Rich Borer and how did he become president of Easter Seals Goodwill?
Okay, really good question. Thank you, and thank you for having me
here.
here.
No problem. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the opportunity to meet you and be on your show.
Exactly.
I've been the president of Easter Seals Goodwill Industries for the last 10 years.
Okay.
Before that, I was the mayor of West Haven for 14 years.
All right.
So basically, over the last 25 years, I've had 2 jobs.
All right.
And both of them, I think, have great missions, and both of them, help people. So I love going to work every day. Easter Seals Goodwill Industries, and I know it sounds like 2 different companies, but it's actually one agency.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of unique because Easter Seals nationally is a completely separate organization.
Okay.
And Goodwill Industries International is a separate organization.
Okay.
But in the 1960s in the city of New Haven, there was an agency called the Rehabilitation Center, which provided rehabilitation services to people. And they were like the strong agency, and they took a Easter Seals that was struggling and a Goodwill Industries that were struggling, and they created the agency that we are today, which is Easter Seals Goodwill Industries Rehabilitation Center, Inc.
Is that a mouthful?
Yeah, it is.
That's a mouthful.
It'll take your whole show just to explain this, but basically that's the thing. Where we, so we're one agency, and a lot of people that provide program work kind of look at it as their Easter Seals, and then we have the chain of stores and the donated goods, and they kind of look at it as Goodwill.
Right.
But in reality, we're one agency that provide, services to people, and our mission, which is to help people find work and help people provide educational and recreational opportunities, for people that have barriers to work.
Absolutely. Now, what exactly is Easter Seals for our viewers and listeners that don't know?
That is an excellent question.
Oh, thank you.
Because Easter Seals is an agency that's trying to become more modern and update. Okay. And what they found out over the course of the years is that Easter Seals, back when polio was a big issue and other diseases, that Easter Seals was quite the agency, but over the years, name recognition has been a problem. To the point where if you're a Generation X and they take a survey, have you ever heard of Easter Seals? Maybe 50 to 60%. But then as it goes down to millennials, it was like 1% only knew what Easter Seals was. So Easter Seals is going through a rebranding renaissance, which is really quite exciting. Changing the name a little bit. Instead of 2 words, it's 1 word. And I got plenty of information on it that I would love to share with you, because they are the #1 provider of services of individuals who have autism. So Easter Seals across the country are really doing a lot of great work, but a lot of people didn't know the work that we were doing.
Exactly.
As compared to Goodwill, where everybody would see the retail, they would see the donated goods. Goodwill has a very high name recognition for the work that they do. And because we have the chain of stores and we have different attended donation centers or bins where people could donate housing items, books, clothing.
Wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff.
It is pretty exciting stuff. And now, as far as the store aspect of things goes, let's talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, we have 13 retail locations. And actually, where we're sitting, there's one almost right across the street, in our Clinton store, which is right on the Westbrook line. But we also have, a large warehouse where a lot of product comes and goes. So the Clinton store, for example, people will make the donation at the store. Those donations are then processed by either staff or clients or volunteers. And then the product is put on the front of the floor. And so of the product that comes in the back, about 50% makes it out to the floor. The other 50% might be either a broken houseware item, or it might be a damaged clothing that won't meet the criteria of our retail operations. But that doesn't mean that they don't still have value, because they do. Those items would then go to the warehouse and then either repaired or sold for scrap.
Yep.
You know, the copper would be cut off the wires. The metal would go into a metal. So we still can extract a value because we're a very green company.
Right.
And then the clothing or the textiles that don't make it to the floor,
Right.
they also get sold either as salvage. There's people that we sell in our outlet store, which is on State Street in Hamden.
Oh, sure.
We have a greatly reduced prices at the outlet store, but we also then have where we sell it in bulk, and it could go to a rag dealer and made mechanic rags and things like that.
Absolutely.
A lot of times the denim is reprocessed into other items. And so there's a lot of unique items that you can find when you go to our Goodwill stores.
Now, what is the difference between the retail store like we have here on the Shoreline and the outlet stores?
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
There is a huge difference, you know, and another really good question. Because the outlet store, I mean, the retail stores, you know, they're color coordinated. We don't really match by size, but the items are looked at, thoroughly, you know, inspected, put out on the floor. The housewares are all put up on shelves. We want to make sure if it's electronic that it works. If it's glass, it's not broken. You know, we put all those items out. As compared to the outlet, which is, you know, greatly reduced price, and everybody has the opportunity, you know, to go and pay $1.39 a pound. It doesn't. It's very inexpensive, and there's a lot of people that shop in our outlet stores. I mean, a lot of people shop in our retail stores, and the typical shopper in our retail store would be an individual probably between 30 and 40 years old, you know, the average median income, and they do that because of the value of the items that they get. At the outlet store, it might be a lower demographic, or it could be a bulk buyer that sends stuff overseas, or it could be an eBayer that's looking for that old G.I. Joe or the old Hot Wheels car or something like that that they sell online.
Exactly.
Because we have plenty of those.
I'm sure you do. Now, as far as the stores and the outlet stores go, you guys obviously thrive on donations from the public.
Right.
You guys obviously.
And there's a lot of competition for those.
I was going to say
donations.
let's go as far as that aspect is. Let's talk about that for a few minutes as far as donations and what you guys are looking for and what you can accept and what you won't accept and.
Yeah, and that's evolving. You know, we don't take mattresses, and obviously there's a good reason for that. But we do sell new mattresses. But we take bed frames, and when we get like a sofa or a cushioned chair, you know, we spray it, make sure that everything is clean and it's all cleaned up. But we don't take like TVs. TVs have been identified through the Department of Environmental Protection as a hazardous, you know, waste kind of a thing now. So we don't take TVs, but we will take flat screen TVs. Or we'll take TVs that have the attachment where kids can play their video games on them. They seem to sell.
Yes.
But those big box TVs, you know, are really difficult to get rid of. So we just as soon not take them. And we don't take anything with gas, or we don't take any appliances that might have Freon, just because you know, things could happen or somebody could get hurt.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, totally. You don't want that to happen. You just don't want somebody to get hurt trying to
or
buy
gas
something.
that could
exactly.
be damaged to the store or cause a fire or something like that.
Exactly. Now, with Easter Seals and the aspect of that goes. You guys do like programs as far as helping people get back to work and everything?
And that is our mission.
Let's talk about that.
Our employment opportunities for people. You know, we basically, you know, help people find work, and people that have barriers to work, we help them to do that. But we do it, you know, there's transportation that's involved. It's group employment. There's individual employment. We do ex-offender work. We do after-school programs for kids, inner city. And all of the money that we spend on these programs all comes from the generosity of people shopping at our stores, making a donation. And I should mention, because you asked me some of the things that we don't take. Some of the things that we are, you know, always looking for is textiles, all types of textiles that we could sell in our store. Housewares, home goods, those kind of things. Believe it or not, we do quite a good job with books. We sell used books online. And so we probably sell about $1 million worth of books a year online, and it's run primarily by clients and other staff that scan each book and put it online. So if you go to, if you're looking for a book, let's say on the shoreline of Connecticut, you would Google that, and then you would see, that book, and the criteria for us, it'll be the least expensive book, and we ship it out the next day, and we have a lot of success with that. So, but we're always looking for books. Right. So books, textiles, housewares, and shoes are the main things that bring our shoppers in the door.
Very nice, very nice. And I was going to say, with these economic times, I'm sure you guys are very busy in your stores.
Yeah, we are. It's challenging to get the donations because, as we mentioned, there's a lot of competition. Oh, yeah. And those competitions would be for-profit companies, and those for-profit companies will put bins that you see at the gas station, and those bins just say, clothes and shoes. Right. And the reason they just say clothes and shoes is because that is the most profitable thing. Right, exactly. And these are for-profit companies that just put these bins up all over the place. Right. And so when we put our bin out, we usually would have a picture of somebody local in the community, so you know you're actually helping somebody. Right. And 95% of all of the resources go right back to the mission, right back in the communities that we serve.
And I was going to say, you guys are obviously a nonprofit.
Right.
Very nice. And you guys are very, very busy. And I know we're going to talk about this during the second half of the show, but let's talk about it now because we have a little bit of time. As far as fundraising goes, what types of fundraisers do you guys do to make everything go? Right,
we have 3 or 4 special events that are primary fundraising. Okay. And so the first and probably the largest in the greater New Haven area is called Fantasy of Lights, which is at Lighthouse Park in New Haven. Yep. 10,000 people will drive through to see the light displays during the holiday season. Yep. And so it's from November until New Year's, and every night there's different displays. Every night we're open, weather permitting. I think we've only closed when there's a lot of snow. Yes. Because it's the ambiance when there is snow. It's pretty cool.
Of course.
But we're always looking for people that want to sponsor a light display. Yep. And we're always looking for people that want to volunteer for the night. Right. A lot of companies in the greater New Haven area, it's a big team building event. Right. So they go there, and it's also, families do it, take certain nights and they volunteer and they come with all of their family and all of their friends. So it's like a family strengthening event. Wow. And it's a great way to kick off the holiday season. It is. Right after Thanksgiving.
Exactly. So that's usually the Friday after Thanksgiving, or give or take. Yep. All right.
And we're relamping all of the lamps into LED lamps.
Ooh, very nice.
So 10,000 people will drive by. We're pretty efficient to make sure that we stay green.
All right. Rich, would you mind hanging around for another segment?
I would love it.
All right, we'll be right back.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man. Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Richard Borer from Easter Seals Goodwill Industries. Rich, welcome back. No problem. So, Rich, let's pick up where we left off talking about fundraisers and other ways that Easter Seals Goodwill Industries makes money besides their stores.
Right, and obviously the reason that we raise money is to help to fulfill our mission. Right. And part of our mission is to provide services to people. Okay. And a lot of times the state of Connecticut does give us some grants, but with the economic conditions in the state, those grants are continually diminishing. So it makes it challenging to fulfill the mission, especially when there's so many other nonprofits that are really out there doing great work, but they're all struggling for that philanthropic dollar. Right. So what we do for fundraising, I think are pretty unique things. We have the Fantasy of Lights, as we were just talking about in the first segment.
Yeah.
It's our largest fundraiser. We'll raise about $150,000 on that. And, but it's a long duration.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. There's 75 light displays that go in a mile loop around Lighthouse Park.
Oh my goodness.
Companies can sponsor a light display. If
Yeah.
any of your
Sure.
viewers would like to do that, they can contact us at Easter Seals Goodwill Industries in North Haven.
Yeah.
Families can volunteer.
All right.
And it's a great seasonal event.
It is.
We also do a golf tournament in the spring.
Excellent.
Mal Gill, the former CEO,
Sure. Oh,
friend
yeah.
of yours.
Oh, definitely.
He's the one that started that 35 years ago.
Really?
So that's still going. And the campaign that we're currently in right now, it's called Celebrate. And Celebrate is our annual appeal.
All right.
And if you remember when Jerry Lewis used to have his telethon,
Oh, yeah.
there was a telethon for Easter Seals, and it was run by Pat Boone. Do you remember who that is?
Yes.
Pat Boone
Yep.
and Debbie Boone,
Yep.
the daughter, sang "You Light Up My Life." But he was the host for that. But now television stations can't do these telethons that they used to do because of the cost.
Right, exactly.
So our annual appeal is more of a mailing appeal
Yep.
and more of a hand-to-hand kind of an appeal. So we select chair people, and this year it's Sue and Joe Rapini.
Okay.
And they are New Haven folks.
All right.
Sue works for the New Haven Chamber of Commerce, and her husband Joe,
Yep.
he works for Apple in New Haven.
Very
and
nice.
they both volunteered to chair our campaign.
Very
and so it's our annual appeal. We'll raise about $120,000 in our annual appeal. And then there's a mailer after, and we do a thank you, and we do a billboard on I-95 to thank people for helping us to fulfill our mission.
How's the mission going so far?
Yeah, it's going really well. We're providing services for more people than we ever have in the past.
Excellent.
And in spite of these challenging economic times, and we're still doing our group employment, we still do our individual employment, we still do after-school programs, and we still do our ex-offender community re-entry work.
Right.
But it's more challenging because there's a lot of competition for grants,
Right.
and then there's a lot of competition for fundraising. But one of the things that's really nice about the social enterprise that we run is if your family could donate clothing, textiles, and housewares, which is kind of easy lifting if you're not going to use that stuff anymore,
Exactly.
we turn that into mission, and that's the engine that drives our nonprofit.
Really? Now, one of the things we haven't talked about, how many people do you guys serve?
Yeah, we serve 1,200 people a year.
Wow.
And it fluctuates, 50 here, 50 there. And it was really growing because there was a lot of ex-offenders that we were serving within our service area. But there's recent cuts to that program, unfortunately. But we still continue to do the mission. We still continue to serve anybody that knocks on our door. And one of the things that we also do in Goodwill is if somebody, if poor or destitute or in crisis, we give out certificates and vouchers so they can, get the items that they need.
Really? Now, what is the service area that Easter Seals Goodwill Industries services?
Another great question.
I was going to say,
I should have mentioned that.
That's another thing we haven't talked about
Because
yet.
there's obviously franchises throughout the country.
Right.
But the territory that we serve is from the Milford Orange line,
Okay.
along 95 to Rhode Island,
All right.
and then up 91 towards Rocky Hill. So that center portion of the state of Connecticut is our service territory for Easter Seals and Goodwill Industries.
Pretty big territory.
It is a big territory.
Pretty big size
Yeah.
territory. I'm sure you've visited most of that territory.
Oh, yeah. On a regular basis.
On a regular basis. I'm sure that you being president and CEO of the organization, that you're probably one of these guys who likes to get out and go
do.
visit in the field. You're not. Yeah. Yes, you have to do the administrative stuff and do the paperwork
Right.
and make the phone calls. But I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure you're out in the field there doing.
Right, and on the program side, it's always so much fun to be with the clients or the consumers that we serve.
Yeah.
It is so engaging and just so much fun to see the energy and the enthusiasm that they have to go to work every day, to have a job,
Right.
and to be in a safe environment. It's also quite rewarding because families that have loved ones that have these challenges, at least now they know that their loved one is picked up in the morning, brought to a safe environment, is with a
Right.
job coach, so they can get to work and do things that they need to do in their life, knowing that their loved one is in a safe environment, learning a skill, and living a fulfilled life.
I was going to say, as far as each store and each employee, I'm sure is it with a job coach? Is it a one-on-one criteria?
It depends on the individual. There's plenty of individuals that are more challenging. That would be a one-on-one situation.
Right.
But then there's also group employment where there'll be 6 clients with one job coach, and they'll get in a van and they'll drive here, let's say, to the Clinton store or to the Middletown store.
Right.
The clients will go into the back of the processing area, greet the customers, accept donations. A lot of them will tag and hang clothes and put it on the hanger. So it's a fulfilled day, and the clients are just so happy to be part of society and part of the workforce.
Oh, totally. So what else do you want to talk about during?
Well, one of the things that has been quite interesting is, I'm on the national board of Goodwill Industries.
Really?
So Goodwill Industries has really taken off into a whole nother level of providing services and helping people find employment, to the point where, and we were talking about this before the show, the National Ad Council has approached Goodwill Industries.
Yes.
And they put together like 3 or 4 different PSAs, and I will make sure that I get them to you.
Yes, please.
But these PSAs are really so exciting and so well done, talking about the mission of what we do and how we provide services for people with disabilities.
Now, from when we were talking about this before, I guess one of the PSAs actually won some sort of national award.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I guess, in basketball there's March Madness.
Yes.
But I guess for the Ad Council, there's Ad Madness.
There you go. All right.
But anyway, one of these that was put together, it's called Bicycle Built for Two.
Okay.
And it's probably one of the best ads I've ever seen. And this clip is about a boy with his bicycle growing up. First he has a paper route, and then he's with his dog, and he's going down the beach, and then he gets a girlfriend, and then it looks like he's going to get off and go to college, and he takes his bike and he donates it to Goodwill, and walking in the store is another little boy about 8 years old with his mother, and he looks at the bike and he points at it, and it's cleaned up, and now that's the theme. Although the song is Bicycle Built for Two in the ad, the play on that is it's built for two because you had it, now I have it.
Exactly, exactly.
And there's some really great clips, some animated clips, and all of it is focused on the mission of Goodwill Industries, but it's also focused on how people can help in our social enterprise by donating. We want people to know when they make that donation, where it goes, and how those resources are used.
I was going to say, let's talk a little bit about that as far as once one person walks in to your location and makes a donation.
Sure.
Obviously, once it walks in the back door, at the donation center, where does it go from there?
Yeah, from there, there'll be employees or staff that would open up, let's say if it was a bag, and sort the textiles from the housewares, the shoes, and the books. Okay. They would all be looked for condition, for quality, and then we have standard pricing. They would be priced and then brought out on the floor. Okay, so that anything that doesn't meet our criteria, as I had mentioned in the first segment, would then go towards the outlet or sold as salvage, to other dealers that would then make sure that the product is used, because we want to be good stewards of what people donate and throw away as little as possible.
Right.
And then the items that go on the floor, they're priced, and we have a 3-week rotation. So anything that's brought in the store would only be there for 3 weeks.
3 weeks, all right.
And then as time goes on that last week, it's half price. On the Sunday before, it's about ready to come off the floor. Anything the textiles is $1. Okay. But then ultimately, it goes back to the outlet, and it's sold in bulk.
Okay. That was actually going to be my next question after it reaches its 3-week period.
Right.
Then where does it go? It goes back to the outlet.
And then it goes back to the outlet.
Okay.
And one of the interesting things is that the shoppers always have a new experience, because every week there's a different color, and every week we're rotating stuff. So when we rotate stuff, shoppers can come in, and there's, that's our mission, is to make sure that shoppers have a good experience, and we want to make sure that we rotate the product and put, the highest and the best product that we have as donated out on the floor. I think the donors expect us to do it, to be good stewards. Right. And the people that are shopping in our stores, love the value and the bargains. And we've had some great, finds. We had, I think I told you earlier, like a G.I. Joe doll that sold for, somebody bought it from us, and it sold for $1,200 because it was a collector's item.
Holy cow.
We've had like Matchbox cars that, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Because, I mean, we can't know all these things when these things come in, but there's one car that's a collectible. We've had some paintings that were done by really famous artists. So, we call it Goodwill hunting because when you go in the Goodwill store, you never know what you're going to find.
And like you said, all your inventory changes every 3 weeks.
Right.
And then,
true. Yeah.
And then how as far as busyness goes, is like the retail store out here, are your retail stores busier than your outlet stores? Are your outlet stores busier than your retail stores?
It's a different shopping experience.
Okay.
So our retail stores are pretty busy. And, there's a lot of work. When you work for one of us, and we're accepting positions in the Clinton store.
I was going to say, you and I talked about that before, too.
So if you know anybody or any of your viewers, a high school student or somebody that's, new to the workforce or somebody that's retired from the workforce and wants to have a little part-time job.
Exactly.
We're always looking for people to help us in both the Middletown area, but especially in the Clinton area.
All right.
And so so just to back up a little bit about our agency.
Absolutely.
So we're Easter Seals Goodwill Industries. We're a $27 million organization.
Okay.
We have 500 employees. We talked about the service territory, what we
Yes, we
provide.
did.
And our mission, is to provide employment opportunities, educational opportunities, recreational opportunities for people with barriers to work. So that not only means work, but we also do like a senior day program.
Okay.
We also have a blended program, which is you only want to work a little bit, but you might want to work some, so we call that program blended.
Okay.
And we do after school programs, and then we do the community reentry work.
Very nice. You guys are a very busy
Yeah.
organization,
Yeah.
which I'm sure is a good thing for you.
It is, and it's fun. We have a great staff. Everybody loves coming to work each day. When you work at an organization like Easter Seals and Goodwill, it's just such a fulfilling opportunity to help people. And actually, Goodwill was recognized as one of the top 10 places to work in America.
Really?
Yeah, by Forbes magazine.
There you go.
Yeah, so
there you go.
if anybody's looking for some work, come see us.
There you go. Rich Boyer from Goodwill Industries, Easter Seals, I want to thank you for coming down.
Well, thank you so much, Pete. I really enjoyed it.
Hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
I look forward.
All right. On behalf of Rich Boyer, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next week.